Hi guys, it's Erin from Ginger's Florals. Today we're going to do our November flower farm and garden tour. It's not very often in November that we have a dry day, but look at all that blue sky. We're going to take advantage of it. We have some big storms coming later this weekend and possibly a hard frost or even a freeze in the very near future. So we're going to take a look at everything as it stands right now, and then the next time you see it, it'll look completely different. So I wanted to start here in the St. Francis garden, just because, again, it's my favorite place to be in the garden this time of year. Well, really any time of the year lately. But just to start out, we have our smoke bush is just ready to start to drop leaves. Most everything out here has dropped leaves, but there's a few bits that are still left. I still need to cut back the yarrow, but there's just a little bit of color that I couldn't bring myself to cut. Same with the echinacea. If you hear any crazy noises, my husband is chopping firewood, so you'll hear chainsaws in the tractor and stuff. So the echinaceas, most of them are pretty wimpy, but some of them still have a little bit of color, and from a distance they look good. Most of all, though, overall, it looks pretty happy. A lot of the stuff that we planted this spring, the perennials, are looking really healthy. I love this little blue spruce. I think John is planning to do sort of a brick structure around this so that it can be lifted up and look right. This part of the garden, I am so in love with the little wall and the steps and everything. Gives a little bit of formality to this otherwise crazy garden. Hi, Winston. But generally, everything just needs to be cut back. The GM still looks really good, healthy. The flowers are spent, but it all looks really healthy. If you saw recently in the video, we planted several allium bulbs back in here. All of our arborvitae look really happy. Man, it looks good this time of year. Oh, so pretty. There's Winston. Most things have been cut back or that need it. I do need to do a little bit of pruning, cut some leaves out. Look at these, the hellebore. Man, they're on early this year, but they're so pretty. Yep, John came through here and cut back most of all of the hostas. Most everything on this side is cut back. There's still a little bit of like the heuchera. Man, can you see this right here? This should not be that tall. That's a molehill. That's so bad. Right around the maple tree too. Gosh. I gotta get more of that mole max and work it in up here so it can hopefully not lose any plants. Let's see. We've got more of these little cypress. They're so pretty. Just a few ferns left and the rose campion. These are the hydrangeas they're done for the season. Obviously, most everything is the grasses. Look at those. Heucheras still look pretty good. And this is the jewels of opar that still have some little flower buds on them. This little bit in the garden is a little bit more protected than other places because of the trees that surround it. It's just a little more secure. These fuchsias, though, my goodness. They're still blooming. They're all over in there. It's so pretty. That won't last long as soon as we get a frost, though. And just everything else in general, we've been planting, if you've been watching our videos, we've been planting loads of bulbs, alliums mostly in here. Look at all these little molehills. They just pop up all over the place, which is a little scary because we just planted 5,000 tulips right here. I hope that the deterrents are working. I do need to still cut some stuff back, obviously. The daylilies are trying to push blooms, but they're gonna die here in a minute. This right here is a ranunculus that we actually planted last spring, and it never bloomed, but it stayed and it's happy. It over summered, it stayed all summer long, and now it's pushing growth. So hopefully that translates into flowers in the spring. There's a couple more of them right there. I need to cut back all this lamb's ear. I want to try and do a project or two with this before it's gone for the season, but we'll see if I have time. Yeah, so that, yeah, see, isn't that just gorgeous? I love this garden, especially when there's sun coming through in the fall. Okay, we're gonna go around this way and then head back to the field. Look at this viburnum. It's lost its leaves and it's still trying to flower. It doesn't know what to do. Okay, we're gonna stop right here real quick, take a look at our ranunculus that we planted a while ago now. It's mostly looking pretty darn healthy. Oh, and the anemone too, they've all sprouted. I have quite a bit of weeding that I need to do in here, but check these guys out. That is a very happy plant, and they look like that all the way down. All of these guys, they're so good, so happy. And these are all the anemone that we planted. They didn't really have any foliage when we planted them, but they're up and growing everywhere. I have a lot of hope for next spring for how that's gonna look. Let's start this time with the front garden, or with the field over this way. Oh, that cottage garden looks beautiful this time of year. Man. Oh, it's hard to beat a sunny day in November. Everything is absolutely soaking wet. We got a couple inches over the last week of rain. We'll get another inch in the next 2 days. It's just a lot. But if you watched, we put in a bunch more alliums in here. These camellias, look. Look, look, look. The camellia's blooming. How exciting. Ah, I love it. Love it, love it. The chickens are going crazy in there. Oh, man, blue sky. Ah. I know, I'm going to say that a lot, but we literally get almost no sunshine in the fall. So take advantage where you can. These gardens, they're all going to sleep. There's nothing too crazy. The mint looks as good as it has all season in here. It's crazy. The wisteria is going to take over the world. It's trying. I have some project ideas for stuff I can do with some of these rosemary plants. Look at this dahlia. This self-seeded in this garden bed that was all lupin, but for whatever reason it decided to grow there. All this stuff is toast. It just needs to be cut back. This one also self-seeded. It's really pretty though. Okay, so we've done some work back here. We took out this whole row. This was where the red leaf hibiscus was, and the amaranth, the second sowing of the amaranth, and it was so great. But it's down, it's all in a pile down at the end. John's got to clean it up, and we'll take up the weed block. This is where we planted all the bupleurum and the larkspur. Looks like we might have some that have sprouted. I'm not really sure though. Some of the plants that were in here looked like they could have just been going to seed, so they needed to, so we'll see. If they survive the winter, what's here, then we'll know what it is. But right now it could be amaranth and cosmos. All of these biennials that we planted, they're looking pretty good. They look like they've settled in mostly. I mean, some of them didn't, but for the most part, they look real happy. Oh, that makes me feel really good. I didn't completely miss my window, which means all the more likely that we'll actually have flowers in the spring. But we ended up, I was able to clear out this bed and most of this bed. This is still the chrysanthemums, and I don't want to take those out just yet. I need to take cuttings and such for these. Look at that. Oh, look at that bug. The chickens would like that. That's probably where that guy's gonna go. But this was all the scented geraniums and whatnot, so it's all gone, as you can see. And this row too, we got it cleared out. I just need to clean it up. The rest of the way, just pull the fabric, put some compost down, and let it sit for the winter. And the dahlias. It is time. I'm pretty sure the plan is for next week, whether we get a frost or not. Next weekend is to cut down and dig the dahlias. Pretty much out of time. I'm actually going to have some surgery on my thumb, so I need to get it done before that happens because I won't be able to use my hand for a few weeks. And I don't want to miss my window, so down they're coming. There is still color, even though it's kind of sad, but that's okay. It was a beautiful patch this year. All right, we got all the zinnias out. As you can see, we have lots of debris. John will take all this out with the tractor. We got this row cleared out. I haven't obviously gotten to the rudbeckia here. This row, these two rows, we got about halfway done, a little further on this one. This is where the honeywort and this was the honeywort, this was the basil. There was some other random plants in there, but getting there, working on it. There's lots of cleanup to do. And can I just say, I love the cherry tree and the 9-bark down there. They look so pretty right now. A little bit of color left in our foliages. I still need, obviously, to work on these rows. This one has been cleared out once before. Just need to come back through, get all this feverfew out of here so it doesn't take over the world again. I did go through and cut as much of the straw flower as was still good, so the rest of that can come out. They look good from a distance, but they're weather beaten. So this, like I said, this whole row can come out. This one can be cleared. These can all be cleared at this point. It's been just cold enough that look at the cosmos. They're toast. All of our heat-loving plants, they're done for. It's gotten just chilly enough down here in the field for everything to be done. But everything mostly looks pretty. I mean, it was a really productive season down here, so I'm happy about it. John did some clearing out in here. He cut back the hostas and the astilbes, so this garden bed is looking pretty good. I love this in the fall and winter. All the different colors in here with the heucheras, the red heuchera, the green and silvers. It's so pretty. And this guy. They're so fun. I love it. This one, I planted this guy this spring, and hopefully it'll get super big in a few years and I can cut this for cut flowers. The variegation on the foliage is just gorgeous. Okay. Look at those guys. And then these last couple rows, this is as you can see, the cabbage. Like I said, I've learned this lesson. These are really good. I need to do them a little bit differently and start them a little bit earlier. And they'll be, I think, fantastic next fall. Gosh, look at the color on those things. They'd be great even to just have in a flower bed. They're so pretty. I have a hard time cutting all these back right now just because they still look so pretty. But the celosia and the zinnias, these guys, everything's done down here. And that pretty much does it for this field. Let's see, apples, I need to clear out the apple trees. But that's it for down there. Now let's head up front. We'll go around by that cottage garden and then we'll hit the front gardens real quick. The good part, in my opinion, is that in the next few weeks, everything will be completely asleep. But that's when we get to start seeds, and that's when some of the winter flowering stuff starts to come on, like the camellia and the hellebore. And yeah, we get to look forward to snowy days and just cold, beautiful afternoons. And I mean, how beautiful. So the only thing really over here, there's a couple little flowers left on the pincushion, but this hydrangea is just amazing right now. So pretty. And it'll hold that color until it gets kind of soggy, and then probably sometime in December it'll go. Yeah, a little bit of the Daphne. I think this guy needs to be pruned pretty heavily this season. And then we planted some more allium back in here. These rose hips. I'm gonna need to come cut these and use them. Look at that. They're so pretty. I'm gonna need to cut them so I can use them in some wreath making or other crafts that we'll do in the next few weeks. Our red twig dogwood, it's looking pretty bright at the moment. I think the red twig and the yellow twig that we have back there, I think these this winter or early spring, we're gonna dig them up and move them out to the side, this north side of the field. John's gonna clear a kind of a road back there so that we can get the tractor and the quads and stuff back there easier. And then that whole northern side of it, I'll be able to plant up with shrubs, other cutting material, but also just pretty things to look at. Okay, so again, there's not a whole lot left to look at, but there is some little bits here and there. I have an idea or two for craft to do this winter with the lamb's ear. These are so pretty, so soft. This little cypress. I love the yellow and the green and the silvery blue. Just need something red right here and it would have it would cover the whole thing. All the colors you need. Yeah, there's a little bit, like the sedum still looks gorgeous. I might come cut some of these so I can dry them. Look at that burgundy color. Isn't it beautiful? All these hollies, maples have all lost their leaves. Same with the fig tree. There's not much in here. Yeah, everything's about done for the season. But that's why it's so important, I think, to have like the lemon cypress or the sedum or the strappy leaves from the crocosmia here. All of these guys, all those things will last most of the way through the winter and look really pretty. And it gives you some kind of structure, even in the winter when all the real color is gone. But I mean, come on, that's so good. We're getting ready to start putting up all of our Christmas lights and stuff. I did want to show you, over here is that artichoke. I still need to clear out these beds and plant more garlic. But look at the size of this. This artichoke is gigantic. It's so happy. Hopefully it overwinters. They usually do. They're hardy to our zone 8, and hopefully it'll come back. I think it will. Otherwise in this garden it's just a matter of cleaning it all up. I need to cut back my irises so they're ready to go in the spring. And yeah, plant some garlic. Look at, this is a green twister echinacea that we grew from seed this year. Oh, I love it. Can't wait for that to put on some more growth next season. And then really the last little garden to look at is up here up front. There's not a lot of change on the patio garden. It's just the same pots from before with the cypress trees and some perennials that just need to be cut back and stored away. But this garden, barberry, oh, it's kind of a wicked shrub with all the crazy sharp thorns on it. But it's really pretty. Look at all these berries are so pretty. And the foliage color, it's really growing on me this time of year. I did come through and cut back most of the perennials. This poppy doesn't know what season it is. I should not be doing that. This dahlia, I want to dig this up and get it out of here. I've talked about it before. We're going to do some revamping of this garden, but right now I'm just enjoying it. Look at this. The ginkgo. Ah, such a vibrant color. I wanted to get out here 3 or 4 days ago before the real wind and rain came to do this video because there was so much color out here, but I wasn't able to. And yeah, like this way, that maple tree was bright orange and the big one up above it was yellow, and it was so gorgeous. But that window was very small, and then I missed it. There's no going back once the rain and the wind gets here, obviously. And that's about it. We've just got, you watched me plant some crocus bulbs down there. We'll do some Christmas decorating out here together. I do want this tree to get some, I put lights on it last year, but I want to put lights and the big ornaments, and I want to make it our Christmas tree out here. I'm also planning to get a living Christmas tree so that we can decorate that. I'm hoping to find a blue spruce that I can do that with, and then plant it out in the garden somewhere. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that's probably about it. There's a little bit of color left on, the roses, but really that's it. We're done. It's just a matter of finishing clearing up the perennials, planting the rest of the hardy annuals. There's just a few. There's some more biennials, and I have the snapdragons that we started together that I'm going to put up in here. But that's really it, which I'm grateful for. One, because I have to go have surgery on my hand and I won't be very useful out in the field, but that shouldn't last more than a month recovery, and I'll be good to go for the future. So I did want to say, because right now in our area, it gets so dark so early. By 4:30, it's dark outside, and the weather is usually pretty terrible this time of year for filming anyways. So there's a good chance that I'll probably have a few less videos every week. Normally I do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but I'm going to try to keep with 2, probably Mondays and Fridays, or Mondays and Wednesdays. Either way, I'm going to try and keep doing 2, but this time of year with the weather and then having surgery and the holidays and everything else, just going to spend a little bit more time with my family and not trying to, I'd rather put out fewer videos that are higher quality than try to rush through some projects that I don't really have time for just to get something out for you guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys are doing this time of year in your gardens. I'm really curious from around the country and around the world what everybody else is doing, because I know some places have already frozen solid, some places don't ever freeze, and here we haven't frozen, but it's coming quick, and we're just in the midst of the rainy season. Okay guys, like I said, I just wanted to show you around the garden, do my monthly, show you what it looks like, see what we're doing, so that you can maybe get inspired to get out in your garden and see what you can get done. So thanks for coming on this tour. I hope that you enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, hit subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.